You want an investment edge, but all you hear is noise, hype, and half-truths. Every signal is solid information, but only if you can see the bigger picture. This is where the Quasar magic happens. Weather, charts, news, all financial signals funneled into a single dashboard. Data alone isn't enough. Quasar Markets turns it into energy, sharp, clear, precise. Optimize with Quasar Markets today. Your edge when investing.
Good afternoon, Quasar Markets Live. Peter Thomas, Mr. Metals himself. You have been spot on. I would say that is pun intended.
Absolutely.
Because metals have done exactly what you said. You said we would not lower rates.
Right.
Fed would be part of the equation. You said over the last month or two that institutions have been buying. You said that countries have been buying. Fundamentally, you said at 3,300 gold is where you buy it. And guess what, Peter? You spot on called the copper sell-off, and here we are down 7.
That's right. I had forgotten about that. Yeah.
Let's go. Talk to me, Peter, about what's going on. Why is copper getting crushed here?
Oh, well, look at we're as I used to say on the floor, Steve. We're down to pistol and cutlass because this is all close in and ugly work, man. This is we had two things our viewers I'm sure are aware of. Powell kept his boot heels dug in and came out and went, I see no reason to lower interest rates. What are you talking about? And for some odd reason, people were surprised by that. I've only been saying that for about 2 months that it wasn't going to happen. And then the most incredible thing was the housing numbers came out. And, it is really important to understand that the U.S. housing market came out with very, very poor sales and elevated or non-reduced rates. It just killed the market, absolutely killed the market. And so we had Powell saying, I don't care what people are paying for their mortgages. We had horrible housing sales. And remember, we use about 40 pounds of copper in a car. We use about 400 to 440 pounds per average home in America. You reduce car sales and you reduce home sales, and copper's going to sell off. But the velocity was what was interesting, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, this was like, pull up a chart for everybody so they can see it. This was
these are
God candles here. This is a drop. Yeah. It was 2 drops here in a row, 3 drops. This right here is a 5-minute chart showing earlier today.
Okay.
You can see where the first big drop was. You saw where there were some buyers down there.
Sure.
Down there, somebody was taking their profits.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
But then after that profits, I think it fooled a few people to buy these dips, which we've seen almost everything. Silver buy the dip.
Right.
FOMO, memed coins, you name it. And then here comes the next God candle to the 5-minute chart. So within 15 minutes, you saw a massive sell-off. These 2 candles here are not normal. If you look at a 1-hour chart here, you don't see that anywhere, right? So talk to me a bit. Who was dumping, Peter?
Well, it's 2 things. We had big sales off of anticipation of lack of demand, Steve. And when you have lack of demand, what happens is the COOs of firms, you're at a Home Depot, and your contractors are going to be asking for X amount of wire for construction. Well, the last thing you want to do is start loading the boat when your interest rates are staying up here and housing sales have completely stagnated. So what happened was we had a nice move up, as your chart showed, and a lot of people came out and said, you know what? I'm going to take some profits here. I can pick up 10, 12, 15% on what I put in this, and I'll come back into the market when we start to pick up a little bit. And everybody tried to get through the door, and that was your first break. Then some people came in and went, well, we lost 12% on basis here. So all that we've gained, we've lost. Maybe I'll pick it up here. And they came in, palms in, we're buyers. Next thing you know, the next wave came in of selling, and there was nobody underneath it to buy it. And by the way, in the night market that I follow in Asia, they're not buying right now either. It's lower in Asia too.
Yeah, and I'm looking at D.R. Horton here, one of the home builders here, and you just talked about it from the perspective. I mean, we know you got copper in cars, and you also have copper in air conditioning, copper in electricity, copper. Sure. As we call it in the old days, Dr. Copper, right?
Dr. Copper, yeah, absolutely.
Look, these numbers aren't good. You saw sales of homes coming bad again. And these numbers are looking. I mean, this is a 1 hour chart. I'll pull up a daily chart of D.R. Horton. There's a big gap here.
Sure is. Yeah.
Lay that over a copper chart, and it's pretty much telling you what's happening right now.
Right.
But all right, let's get to it then. I'm going to pull it up. This is your baby, gold.
Yeah,
we've seen selling now your level 3,450 about 5,000 times, and you said 3,300.
Yep. I got stopped out today, Steve.
Okay.
Yeah. I have, look at, you're either lucky or you're smart, and having a little bit of both never hurts. But the bottom line was that I bought it in that 3,300, which I turned all of our viewers on anybody that's watching Quasar for the last, for every time it has hit this support point, I've said, hey guys, let's get on board here. There's something here. And we've picked up anything from $100 to $130 on the upscale. All right. Today I gave up $20. Okay. I didn't get hurt. Okay.
Right.
But
you know what your risk was. Your risk was under 3,300. That was
exactly pretty much it. I mean, I got filled at like 81, okay. But I'll take what I get. But the thing is that bottom line is, we had velocity today. We on the breaks, it's had slow momentum, but you could see we had a much greater speed and a higher sell-off. And I think the entire metals market was getting sold. Somebody looked over and saw platinum and palladium being sold heavily, and everybody went, well, I better get rid of my silver. And then it immediately bled over into the gold. And when you have a shark frenzy, a feeding frenzy like this, everybody gets hit, and gold got taken down. But I think that there's a lot of interesting stuff going on here, Steve.
Yeah, and you talk about silver. I mean, silver's been the meme coin / retail, poor man's gold, you name everything we could possibly say.
Yep.
It got beaten up. I mean, this thing just got kiboshed, and you were 39, something like that, 39.50 up there. It was really trying to over the 40 handle. Could not
trying for the 40, exactly right. Yep.
And couldn't do it. And I'm still calling for $43 on the silvers. I think we still got. I don't think anything here. There's the markets. The world's not good, so I still think that we still go silver. But I'm going to ask you. What do you think? You still think we go higher or lower?
Well, I think with hits like this, margin calls towards the end of the day on the opening, we'll see margin calls, Steve. I think that we will see some follow through if we continue seeing selling tonight in China, which we're seeing right now. So there's a good chance that we will see a little further sell off in the opening. After that, it's anybody's guess. Bottom line is that let me give you some interesting quotes for people here. Ray Dalio, and you know him, and he's a billionaire investor, folks, and there's another guy by the name of Thomas Kaplan. He's a doctor, actually. He's a billionaire, and he's a big investor. The two of them came out and said, "Look, it's time to add 15% in metals to your portfolio." Now these are the big bucks guys, right, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Ray Dalio, I mean, I saw Ray in Switzerland, and he said the same thing to me. got to have 10% of your portfolio in gold and Bitcoin. I mean,
Right.
he's talking about alternatives all the time now, but he loves his gold. He loves stacking gold. And but
and he just went from 10 to 15%. So
let's talk about that Fed's decision, no rate cuts. I mean,
Right.
you're talking about Fed. I mean, I asked earlier, what's the over under that Trump doesn't fire Powell?
Oh, I think it's a good question. I don't even see how he's still there. I mean, as I understand it, he was a fairly good attorney, but as an economist, I don't think he's too popular right now.
Oh no, he's definitely not popular in the White House. I mean, I think Powell has said he's digging his heels in, shall we say, and Trump is like, oh, he's an okay guy. Let's give him a chance to get him to walk out himself, because quite frankly, we don't want to see the president having to disrupt the Fed in any way, shape, form, or fashion, because then gold and silver will go through the roof.
Oh yeah, and it's a real tough call, because I don't know if you had the opportunity, but I listened to his speech, and parts of his speech after he said he wasn't going to lower, some of it didn't make sense to me. He was talking about migrants coming in and supplying the amount of labor for jobs. And
yes, this Pete. I mean, that's what I'm saying. The goalpost continues to get moved.
Yeah,
I mean, it's been we're looking at 2% inflation. We got to get it down. Jobs. We have a dual mandate. We have jobs. We have, and then when the JOLTS come out again, right? There's more openings, and there's
exactly right.
People. I mean, this thing is really. They're saying, well, it's getting closer and closer. I don't think so. I don't think the world is that good. I've been saying this. And guess what? I think it's the Metas, it's the Facebooks, it's the Mag 7 holding the whole damn market up.
Right.
And
here's something else too, is that they're talking, hey, we've got all these wonderful job openings, and look at all this money coming in. How many people are going to be working at a chip factory? This isn't like you walk in off your kiosk that you pushed out in front and walk in and become a chip manufacturer. These are high-end jobs. You have to find people that are qualified to work in these environments. This isn't going to kick into effect right away. Oh, we've got $1 trillion here and $1 trillion there. A year or two from now, that's going to have an effect. But currently, I don't see it turning around.
Yeah, here's the SPY. I mean, we know it's up another 0.7% based on Meta. Meta's numbers came out really good. You can see what Mr. Zuckerberg's been up to with his AI and his super intelligence. He told you about that today.
Yeah, he did. I saw that. Yeah.
But man, am I wrong? Is this market frothy?
Well, I mean, look at, like I said, it's cutlass and pistol. I mean, this is close in and nasty stuff, and I think it's gonna. I mean, I love volatility. I'm a trader. That's how I was born. That's what my family did. That's what I do. But the thing is that we have so many things to froth this up, and we pretty much touched on the important ones in metal. But the last thing I want to touch on is platinum palladium. When I create portfolios for our clients, I always have platinum and palladium in there if it's at an attractive level. And platinum palladium is either in oil refining, or it's in automotive manufacturing, in the cleaning of exhaust fumes, getting rid of NO2 and things of that nature. And if rates don't come down, we're not going to be selling more pickup trucks. We're not going to be selling more cars. We aren't seeing a broad spread of jobs, even though they were up and the numbers were favorable, but we're not seeing gigantic numbers to where we'll be seeing. Remember, pickup trucks are jobs. That's the bottom line. And
yeah, but you talk about pickup trucks. I mean, we saw Ford's stock today absolutely getting beaten up at $10. You just can't get above that $10 handles there. 1087, 1066. Right down here, it got below $10 and up again. But it's a Ford Motor Company. This is one of the stalwarts of the world. And,
sure is.
Right.
Sure is, yeah. And so when I see platinum and palladium hit the skids, to me, that tells me that the anticipation for new car sales, new automobile sales, is very low. So we see COOs who run firms such as Ford going, you know what, let's back out of our commitment for tonnage of platinum and palladium. You know, that's really not a good sign, Steve.
Yeah, this is Tesla's chart. I've had these two lines up here for months, as you can see. And it's right in the numbers because, quite frankly, if we're going electric, if we're going SpaceX, then Ford Motor Company is not the one company to do it because they're the ones that take oil. And look, the one thing that I said, that if Powell gets his way, short the market and buy oil. And here we are. Oil's at 70.28 again now on the high.
Yeah. You really nailed that one. Yeah.
Thank you. How is oil affecting these metal markets?
Well, it's interesting in that at certain times in trade, Steve, we will see oil and gold move simultaneously, hand in hand. Mm-hmm. Other times there'll be a differentiation. Today was one of those, obviously, and the global unrest, many times the geopolitical situation will drive oil, and subsequently those tailwinds will in effect hit gold. When the Ukraine was taken over, we saw gold and oil start to take off, because sanctions were coming in, things were happening. So it depends. I could nail it down for our friends, but it'd take a lot longer.
All right, so sanctions come in, Russia gets nailed again.
Right.
Oil goes up.
Yep.
Right. But nobody cares, or they'd be protecting the portfolio with gold. Right. So the opposite's happening. And this is what I'm saying. This market, to me, Peter, does not make sense.
Well, here's the thing. When you get into a sell-off, the baby goes out with the bathwater. Yeah. And that's, I'm in a safe harbor of gold because I'm afraid of what the world situation is, but my silver's down $1.50. I got a margin call. I got 43% return in my gold. I got to sell the gold to meet my call. Now all of a sudden I'm selling gold and I want to own it, but I can't because I'm cash poor at the moment. Mm-hmm. We saw a lot of that today, Steve.
Yeah, and one of the things I've been talking about is that retail, in general, the margin that banks are allowing them to trade on is at the highest level ever. They are over leveraged, they are to the hilt, and they're trading every dollar that they have in the account, and whatever the margin that allows them to trade, they're doing that on a daily basis. And it looks like PDT rule is about to go away here in a few months, possibly going down to 2,500. Peter, it's going to get worse, not better, right?
Well, I mean, also, I think something that we need to touch on, too, is that the audience is wider. We have a younger generation of people coming into the stock market as well. So this affects a much broader audience than we had before, and that also gives it velocity.
All right, then that begs the question with this younger group that are playing Purple Pepe and dumb meme coins. Are they buying gold?
No, they're not buying gold. But what they are buying is silver.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because it's a smart long-term investment. And a lot of the younger people I'm talking to are saying, you know what? I want to, my dad had bought it at 8, and so I'm going to buy it here at 30 or at 25. And I'm just going to put it in the safe because at least I know I'm going to have something because the dollar's at 50? Come on, guys. I mean, they're scared and they don't have, or they don't want to put $3,300, $3,500 into a gold coin, but they'll buy a tube of silver for $400 or $500 and they're very comfortable with it. So that's what we're seeing.
And let's talk about that. The Dixie right here. Look at that. We heard Steve Flanagan talk about the Dixie pushing up, and here we are at almost 100 here. The day got to 99.98 right there. You can see, and that to me is telling me everything, that the dollar, that the safe haven now becoming the dollar again.
Hey, look at, you refuse to look at England has lowered rates 3 times. Canada's at 0?
Yeah.
We're seeing people borrowing at zero and selling into the dollar with both hands. I mean, the arbitrage is staggering.
You take it out of my mouth. The arbitrage seems to be pretty high right now.
Oh, they've been amazing. So traders are banking larger. Let's put it this way: larger institutions are making a lot of money in these spreads. Us, the smaller people, we're not making money in this stuff. And the problem is that we're paying for that because in the long run, we're the ones paying the interest rate so the scalpers can enjoy this arbitrage. So it's a very tough situation for everyone involved right now.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to ask you one last question. Let you go because I know you're a busy guy, and especially with everybody's calling about it. Before I let you go, make sure you guys all go to Twitter X here. Hit him up on Goldbug111. That's his handle there. You can also reach with him. You can get ausecure.com. You can get it right there you can buy metals right on Quasar Markets. The module's right there in front of you. All you got to do is hit that one up. And I've known Peter a long time here. You can also go to ausecure.com. Look him up, Pete. He is Mr. Back in the day, the Hunt Brothers boy. But let's talk about it. Before I let you go, you've got to tell me something that's happening in the market that no one else is seeing right now. What is the anomaly that we should be looking at that we just none of the talking heads have looked for it, are not seeing it? Last week you said that the Russian vaults are accumulating silver. What's the hot one? It's
the first time. It's the first time I broke that story on your show. As a matter of fact, we hadn't seen the Russians stockpiling silver ever, and all of a sudden they're putting bars in the vault. I think the hot story right now is Putin. Every time the guy sneezes and he says nuclear, gold jumps $40, $50, $80, silver jumps $1, and I don't think we can forget. And this is my point. We can't forget what's going on in the background. And going to your point, which is right now the hot topic is what is going to happen in the Ukraine. This war should have been over, let alone never have occurred. I listened to General Keane speak the other day, and he said that they are going to produce 4 million drones for that war. I was like, excuse me? This is not de-escalating. Right. And with a larger inflow of equity, of funds coming in from the EU, Trump is talking about putting more ammunition into this war. It's very scary to me. I don't like seeing people getting killed. I just don't. And
I mean, you're former military. You've got it all. You've seen it all. Vietnam all the way through. Talk to me, Peter. This is getting scary to me, right? Because Putin and Trump. Oh, Trump says I got Putin. Don't worry about him. Now it's not that way, and it's the opposite now. Okay, we're gonna literally arm Ukraine up. At this point, I see conscriptions at the Russians' borders now for 65-year-old guys for the Russians.
I saw that.
What in the world is going on? I mean, what is Putin up to here?
Well, I think first off, it's they thought it was going to be over very quickly. So usually Putin, being a three-dimensional chess player, he looks at a situation, makes his assessments, works with his generals, and they put their plans up, and they totally failed. They're making a lot of this stuff up on the fly, and they're fighting against weaponry which they did not expect to be in this theater of operation. So, and I don't understand the European war theater at all, but I do understand that the new generations of weapons they fly at night. They have heat seeking. They all have FLIR. I mean, this is a very brutal war. And like you said, they're killing an entire generation of young Russians. And for the first time in their history, they had a mass exodus from Russia into Poland. The people that said, I'm not going to have anything to do with this war. And everybody was calling them traitors. Now they're calling them smart. You know, this is a situation that,
and the North Koreans joined them, and they're like, why are we here? You know, even the North
they've lost 20,000 men so far, the North Koreans, and they're
that?
not reporting the kills, and they have these new. Oh man, that's too gross to even talk about. I don't want to get into it, but the thing is that that is the hidden card that when it gets turned over is going to get all these metals fired up again. And
all right, so gold's under 3,300. That's where you stopped out at.
Right.
Talk to me. What's your plan here for the next 2 weeks?
I'm going to watch it trade, Steve. I'm going to watch it trade, and then I have a cheat, which we are retail wholesalers, and so I will be seeing what's going out of the vault, what's coming into the vault, what's the public doing? Are they selling their holdings, or are they buying the dip? You know, so I'll kind of maturate on that a little bit, and then I'll get a better picture of where I should be. But one thing that our viewers should never forget: one of the best traders I ever knew told me, standing aside, not having a position is a position.
That would be me. Yeah, okay, I love it, Peter Thomas. Okay. Kaboom, kaboom. Man, I appreciate you for everything you do for Quasar Markets.
Thank you
for your friendship to me over the many years. All right, Peter, we'll see you right back here next time, man.
All right, guys, take care now.